What's going on, guys? The one, the only Water Cool Fool. Today we're going to be talking about installing the X99 SOC Champion water block by EK. So here it is, and nickel plated and plexi. They don't have a black acetal, unfortunately, so we have the bottom part of the chipset and the top part, or the north bridge and the south bridge. You also get screws, which are all located right here. I already put the washers on them already. You're going to need Q-tips, scissors, X-Acto knife. You're going to also need some isopropyl alcohol, 90% or higher. I have 91. Also, I got, as part of the water cooling goodie, I got the Aqua Computer Cryo Connect, and I'm hoping that this will work. I am crossing my fingers. This is a 4-slot, so I'm hoping that it will work here so I can have my cards in serial or parallel, depending on how I want it. If not, I can just basically put these guys back on and be done with it and call it good, and just have 2 extra connections on there. I would really like to use this one. I'm hoping it works. Okay, the first thing that we're gonna have to do is take off the chipset. So basically this whole thing is all connected, so that means that we're gonna have to undo some screws. Of course, always follow your guide right here. So this is how you're gonna put on the water block. You flip it around, and basically you're gonna take these 2 screws off here, it looks like, and the screws here, 4 of them right here, are going to come off. I would really like to reuse these screws so I could use the back plate, but I don't think we're going to be able to use the back plate that comes on this motherboard. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to replace all these screws. So let's get to it. So we're going to go ahead and flip the motherboard over like so. And it looks like they might be wrong, because you have another screw here, you have a screw here, you have a screw here, and then you have another screw here. So it looks like the instructions might be wrong, because this is totally not how this motherboard looks like in the back. So because they're just saying, well, just remove these screws and these 2 right here, but they're all tied in. So it looks like we're going to have to remove all these screws here. So 4 here, 1 here, 1 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So I don't understand why they said, oh, just do these, when there's way more screws that need to be undone in the instructions. So let's go ahead and start taking these off. Now, you don't have to watch this part. You could probably fast forward it if you would like. This is just so people can follow along with my tutorial here. So hopefully it doesn't take that long. And I'm hoping that this side where I'm taking it off of is not going to be bad as far as goop and stuff, because if that's the case, I'll probably just stop the video and combine it into one video. So there we go. Then we got these little guys that we're going to have to undo. Slowly undo these guys, because you do not want to lose these. Because if you want to resell your board, a lot of people are going to ask, do you have the stock screws, or do you have the stock, heat sink to it? And okay, I don't know what the purpose that was, if there was no things there, but okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws on here like that, and then set it aside. So keep a track of your screws. So see, they say just do that, but look, the whole thing is, you know, you still need to take off some more screws, so they're absolutely wrong on the instructions, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and take these screws off here. So those are just black little nubs. Let's see. So this has a spacer that's already on it. On these guys, I don't know if you could see it on the other, see how it kind of goes on the outer lip. So there is a little small spacer already on there on the screw itself when you go to take these off. Okay. So slowly removing these. Okay. So then we're gonna have this guy. Almost got him. Yeah, there we go. So now, if I flip the motherboard over, I'm hoping that the heatsink just comes right off fairly easy. That works. Okay. So there we go. Here is the stock heatsink in all its glory. So there's the bottom, and then here's the top. So let me see if I can zoom out a little bit more. So there, get in the camera. So there you go. So take this, and what I like to do generally is take the, so what I would do, I'm going to take the 4 screws after I'm done making this video, take the 4 screws, put them back in here, put these 2 screws that are on to the right of the camera that were right here, I'm going to put those back, and then I'm going to put all these 4 right here right back into their places. You don't want to lose these screws because you don't want to be SOL and then you want to resell it, but then you can't. And I forgot one thing, you're also going to need TIM, so that is my bad on that. So I will have to run and get TIM. That's in my closet when that point, time and point comes. So let's just take this and make sure you use isopropyl alcohol on all the components that are gonna get. Ooh, that's caked on there pretty good on here. So let me see if I can zoom in on that to show you what I'm working on. So I'm working on this little guy right here, and I don't know what they did, but I am putting some force on it for sure. And I might have to get some more solvent, i.e. my isopropyl alcohol. So I don't know what the heck they put on there, but Jesus. Because you want clean contact, and good God, this is almost like I can almost like scratch it off with my nail. But so okay, so you make sure you get a whole bunch of Q-tips for this process, because you never know. Like right now, I wasn't expecting this to be this gooped up. However, on my Asus Rampage 4 Extreme, it had pink goop, and it took me 45 minutes to take the pink goop off of this little area right here. So you never know when you're going in, and my whole table's probably gonna shake. That's not a good sign, but it's all good. All right. Almost there. We're almost clean on the chip here. Okay, come on. Get out of my misery. You are making this way more difficult. We're almost there. It's almost clean. Just got this 2 areas that are being really troublesome on me for some reason. So hopefully the other guys are going to be a lot easier to deal with. Okay, he's almost clean. Come on, little guy, get off of there. Okay, now we got work on this little area. And as you can tell, I'm doing circular motions. And I'm sorry if you can't really see. Let me see if I can bring my camera a little bit higher. So there we go. And then we'll back it out some. Because this is kind of a hard process to do while you're trying to focus on cleaning this. So, okay, it looks like it's clean for the most part. Then we're going to go back and clean all this goop off and residue. And just make sure it's nice and clean and dry. So that's one area that you're really not going to be able to see. So now I'm going to rotate my motherboard around like so. And now we're going to do the easy stuff to clean off. It's just going to be the VRAM heat sinks. So I'm just going to go do. See that? It's just very, very easy to do. Let me go ahead and back out. So just clean them off. Boom, 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 boom. It's very easy to do. Now we're going to go ahead and knock off this white crap that's on the motherboard. That's from the stock goop that was on the original stock heatsink. So go ahead, make sure this is all good to go. Because these guys right here were covered right here, but these guys weren't, I noticed. So go ahead and make sure they're all clean. Okay. Now I'm OCD, I went back like 2 or 3 times after that. It's just how I am. Okay. Now this shouldn't take that much to dry, so you can see they're kind of drying right now. Okay, now they're dry. So we shouldn't have to need any more isopropyl alcohol. Make sure you close the lid, put that aside, and we no longer need that. So what you're going to do is, let me go ahead and make sure I am doing this right. Okay. Okay. So your 0.5 is going to go right here, and the 0.1 is going to go at the top, it looks like. So, me personally, I like to do it like it has on the instructions, so I don't get too confused on that part. Alright, there we go. So you guys are in the camera angle, which is good. So we're gonna take your excuse me. So the 1.0 millimeter thick is gonna go right here. As you can tell, it's kind of really overboard as far as covering them, so I'm going to cut it this way, and then after that I might cut them a little bit down more, or if not, if you have it overlapping, that's completely fine. But I just want to do it clean. So we have this guy we need to cut, so just showing you that, and then this is the 0.1 millimeter, which is going to go right here. And as you can tell, it's not going to work. It's not going to fit, unfortunately, because they made it too thick. And basically they make it too thick so you can use some extra, if you need any extra, you know, padding, you can do that and have no worries. So basically I'm going to ensure the full length, so I'm going to cut it off here. So what I do, I generally hold the thing up like so, and then I go along here and cut it there. So now we know that this is, so now if you look here, it's perfectly long enough for these guys. So all I have to do now is kind of just cut a little bit off here and then put them on, call it good, and everything's gravy, right? So this is kind of the pain in the butt part, is kind of estimating where you should cut it. So I'm gonna cut it right there, if you can tell. Just a little mark, and I'm gonna try to be as straight as possible. Okay. Moment of truth. Okay. So it may not be straight, like perfectly straight, but all you're trying to do is make sure that these are covered all the way. Fully. That's all you're making sure, and that it will fit. So if I go down here, ooh, scooch it, scooch, scooch, see, right there, it's a little bit over, but that's okay. So I can do a little minute cut. I'm not going to take a whole bunch off, because remember, you can take stuff off, but you can't add it on. So I'm going to cut about here, maybe that much off, and as I hold it away from the camera, I know it's not really helpful. Guys suggested to me to use this to get the paper or whatever off it, which is a good idea. Last time I didn't have this, so I'm hoping that this will work out a lot better. So then carefully you kind of basically have to kind of drag it over on where you want it, and then you're going to have to take the top part off too. So okay, so there, and then so right there is where I want it. So now the fun part is we got to take this clear crap off, and more than likely, as you're lifting up the clear crap, it's going to come up with it. So just bear me for one moment while I rotate my board. So gotta try to get this off, so I might pause the video if I can't get it right away. Oh, it looks like I got it. Come on. There we go. So there we go. And then so when that starts to come off, I'm going to just hold it right there where it needs to be, and then need to slowly manipulate it to where I need it. Alright, so come on, go down please. So now, okay, okay, alright, there we go. So we got one little doodad on. Next up, we're going to do the second doodad. It's not really doodad, but it's the thermal strip. So this does come in handy. Thank you, Silent Commando, for the idea on doing that. So next up, what we're going to do here, same kind of process. So we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay. So now I'm going to move this over, try to get it perfectly aligned, and then do kind of like the same thing I did before, is find where the choke is and more or less cut it right there. Alright. And now, since I have it cut to where I want it, now I'm going to have to do that little cut like I said before. So like I said, make a little incision along the choke. Doesn't have to be perfect, but and it's okay if you go out more. If it goes past more, it's okay. I'm just trying to get more of the bulk material off of it. So slowly but surely cut it off. Okay, again, we're going to go ahead and use the X99 knife. Make sure you don't cut your fingers, because that would be like really poopy if you did that. Okay, so this is so thick that it's actually wanting to come off of both sides. So okay, I'll just do this side, and then the next side should be a lot easier since that's wanting to come out too. So I'll just put this guy on here. So like that. So it's okay to have a little bit over, because once you get it over, you can just go in and snip snip, call it good, you know. So just take your time when you're doing this, for sure, because this is a big component to your computer, you know. So we're going to go ahead and hold that down. And then try to move this, manipulate it back to where I want it to cover the heat sink. Or there, okay? Next up, we're going to go ahead and snip that extra off, because we don't want that to look doo-doo-y. Okay. It's one snip. Let's try to do it again. Okay. That's how far we're going to get, as far as we're going to get. Okay. Next up, we're going to go ahead and get our water block. It's going to be secure in this little guy. Please make sure that when you're unwrapping it, nothing flies out of here, because it looks like in here they have the, I gotta be really careful, the so-called things, or not things, but the washers are supposed to be glued on. And if you look here, this is really bad, poor quality control, but how are you going to tell me that these are perfectly aligned? You got this that slid up all the way there, and you got this one that slid down, so this is not going to work. And it's kind of like really sticky glue stuff. I don't know how to describe the consistency, but it doesn't want to move that well. So this is going to be kind of hard if that glue got into the center of the hole. So I'm hoping that this will line up perfectly and not have to worry about it. Okay. Okay, just give me 1 second. I might have to go off camera, because this is definitely something you gotta be careful. And this thing doesn't cover these all the way like I thought it would. It only covers half of them. So go ahead and zoom in on that shot. So do that right there maybe. So let me go ahead and rotate the board so you can see what I'm talking about. So go up. So if you can tell, it doesn't really cover all of the deal, so I might be able to cut some of this off, but we'll see how it looks once I put the screw on and see. I might be able to cut the X-Acto knife there, use it along there, but we're just gonna wait and see. Don't take any extreme measures yet until you ensure that everything to your best of your ability is covered and all that. So okay, next up you're gonna have your 3 screws. It's gonna come with 2 screws and you're gonna get 1 extra. So those are gonna probably be your 3 M3x4 screw. So this is the fun part that I don't like. You basically gotta hold it and then hope to dear God that you have it aligned. And let me zoom out a little bit. And I'm sorry if I'm not in exact perfect shot for you guys. So this is the hole right here where we're going into. Take the screw, pray to God that you have it aligned, because if not, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get in. Obviously it's not aligned, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. So that's awesome. So it looks like the so-called glue, I don't understand. This is another way that kind of makes me upset, is that they kind of like they cheaped out. That's what EK's doing. They kind of cheaped out on their blocks. So I'm gonna try to do the other side and see if I can get that aligned, because I really don't want to have to take this off unless I absolutely have to. So I'm finding, use an X-Acto knife to move these washers in the space that you need. So that's what we need. Okay, so that's gonna go in. Okay, and then put that aside, so that means I can get these one other one right here, and then I could put it in here, and then I could screw that in. Or try, oh, it's magnetized now, so that's gonna be fun trying to. So that sucks. I thought this wasn't magnetized, so let me see if I can get it in there first, and then kind of hand tighten it a little bit like this. Okay, just a little. Okay, now we got to move this washer into place. Okay, then we're going to do this right here. Okay. And then do this. And then tighten them up. So, and I'm not cranking them down, I'm just doing it hand tight. No reason to do it crank them down. That's stupid. So, let me see. This one might work a little bit better. That kind of slipped. Okay. Okay, and then there you have it. We have the water block installed for here, like so. So I'm sorry if you weren't able to see that, but God, kind of tricks of the trade, I guess you can learn from me. Okay, next up, we're gonna do the one that has 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe it's 4 holes. And I'm hoping that this one's going to be a little bit easier to do. So here, let me back this out. So, and then kind of zoom in. So you see all these right here. You got to make sure these are aligned. If these aren't aligned, it's just going to be a pain in the butt to try to install these. So make sure these are aligned prior to you installing the water block. If not, you're going to basically see what I did. I aligned them and they didn't even align up appropriately. Okay, so next up we're gonna have this. So I think, let me see how this is gonna go on. I don't think there's any thermal padding that I have to do. Let me just double check. Instructions, no. So all it's gonna do is gonna be like this. Huh. So they have 1, 2, 3. Okay, I see it how it goes like this, but where's the other hole that's supposed to go to? Let's do a test fit, shall we? because I think they might have made a mistake. Unless this is just here to ensure that it doesn't create contact or anything. So that's what I think, because you can see if we go here, let me zoom out. If you look right here, sorry, bad camera angle. There's 4 holes here. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. So that's going to line up, and that's going to go right about here. And it looks like all that extra one is just making sure it doesn't like hit anything. That's what it looks like. Because this says GA X99. I'm assuming that should be for the gigabyte. So I'm hoping this works out the way it's supposed to. Because if not, it's going to be kind of doo-doo. And it looks like that this block is may or may not fit. Okay. So there we go. So it's gonna fit like that. Alright, so always pre-fit your stuff and make sure it's gonna work. But it is gonna block a hole, it looks like, when you do that. So just keep that in mind. It's gonna block the center standoff, which is gonna be right next to your SLI and where your crossfire is. Because I see here that there's only 4 points on this water block where it's supposed to be tightened down on, so it's basically going to be this spot right here. Up here there is no water block place, so now you got to get your TIM, which I forgot. And then for some reason they want you to do a crisscross pattern in the instructions, like so, like right here. Absolutely no reason to do that. I do it the way I want to, and so far every time I've done it, it comes out pretty damn good. So, and even then, you just need a little bit. I'm hoping I have enough. And my hand is shaking. So that's probably more than enough right there. Kind of standing up a little bit. So I can go ahead and put this water block on. And my hand will probably, you'll probably see my hand shake again. So let me go ahead and back up to, because this is kind of nerve-wracking, you know. So what I do is I go here and make sure the holes line up. Okay. Okay. All right, right there. So, if you guys like see, if you look right here, it's only 4 screws that are going in here. There's not one of them going up towards the top. If you guys don't believe me. So now, this is going to be the fun part. These screws are really, really, really small, and I'm hoping that the deals are working like they're supposed to. I don't know what I mean by deals. the plastic washers. I'm hoping that this isn't going to cause any kind of issue or anything like that. So, and that's kind of cool. You can kind of see the capacitors at the top right here, and I'll show you once I'm done installing everything. And so this is the hard part. So since you gotta kind of hold it in place while you align it, so I slowly align it myself, and then I'll try to put the screws in. Like once you get one or two in, then you're golden, and then you can kind of, you know, see how they're gonna go in. And these aren't going in at all. I think these are the wrong size. Maybe. But we'll see. Looks like one got in. Nope. So that's telling me that these are the wrong size. If they're not going into the water block. Right there. Because they're not even gripping onto the water block whatsoever. So let me just take a regular screw. They came with the kit. So, and if that's the case, I'll try to use the is it working? Okay. I guess for these you got to screw down pretty, you have to, these plastic washers that are attached to the board, they stick onto the screw pretty darn good, and so we just have to be careful about that, because gotta love this. So you gotta push pretty hard to get this screw in. But I think what it is that they basically, they don't want you to have that screw on there. So let me see that. So I took off the, yeah, I got it. Basically the spacers are, these spacers are good enough. Don't use the plastic spacers for the back. That's what I'm learning right now. Do not use the plastic spacers for the back. Absolutely no reason to use them. Just because it looks like these guys right here are, they're fine without it. So okay, so that's something I learned. Because this is a new motherboard, and I used the spacer like they said. It doesn't work. They won't work. They're not long enough. So. Okay. Almost done. It's probably going to be like a 20-minute, 30-minute video at least. Come on, magnet. Didn't work. Magnet's not in my favor, guys. These things are a pain in the butt. Now, I gotta find that black piece that popped off. Okay, there it is. So, and you go ahead and so there we go. We're almost done. One screw. This is when I wish I had tweezers. Okay. Slowly rotate, there we go. For some reason that isn't going in. Huh. Well, since we got majority of all the screws in, we don't have to hold it anymore, which is a good thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and see. What I'm trying to do is take the freaking plastic thing off, but let me see why. Let's see, I might be able to manipulate the water block a little bit, trying not to, don't crank down the water block all the way, or I should say the screws all the way. Okay, so looks like I'm going to have to back out on some of these. Back out. Back out. Okay. So get that one aligned. Okay. Okay, that screw's not wanting to go in, so we're going to go ahead and pop the plastic cap off, or I should say, it's not a plastic cap, it's a spacer. And these spacers are pretty good. They stick onto the screw pretty darn well. So. But I'll get with that and I'll put the screw back on or whatever. So this is what the motherboard's going to look like after you get everything installed. On the back, these spacers wouldn't even work for some reason. So I wouldn't even use these spacers, to be completely honest, because these black guys right here that you use are the exact same thickness on the motherboard. So what's the point of using that? So, alright guys, let me know if you guys are going to get this motherboard, put the water block on it. Let me hear your experiences on putting on this water block. Learning from experience, you can use the plastic washers here in the back, but as far as putting them right here where the water block goes, it seems like they're not really needed in my opinion, just because I couldn't even get them in there. So, alright guys, thank you for watching, and as always, rate, comment, subscribe, favorite this video, click that like button, and you guys always have a great day now. Bye.